My name is Nikki, and I have been volunteering at Gabriel's House for a little bit over a year. And I'm a volunteer coordinator at my church, and we came to Gabriel's House to do a serve day where we did some yard work and repairs inside. And so I got connected here that way, and then ever since then we've had other opportunities to volunteer. I have started doing a regular workout class. So we get all the girls together and we do some stretching and some cardio and some weight training, and we call it Soul Train. So during our cool down time, we talk about things like wellness and different subjects that come up. And so we're working the body and we're feeding the soul. And then we also have a women's tea that we do, that we have time to talk about a certain topic and just really get to know them, sit face to face and get to hear a little bit about their stories. And then recently, because of the pandemic, we have been doing some Zoom calls. So it's a topically based discussion that we have. So it could be anywhere from turning adversity to advantage, to self-confidence, wellness, anything like that. Things that they would be facing as they're in recovery and going back out into the world. I was a heroin addict, and I had spent some time on the streets myself, and I also spent some time in jail. And I had my son during that time and was a single mom with him. And it really took me a long time to find people in my life that could come alongside me and support me through that time into my own recovery. And so there was a lot of time where I felt like I was just searching, and I finally met a couple people that were patient with me and that would sit with me and were not afraid to talk about some of the hard things. And as I came into my own recovery, and now I do say that I am recovered, I don't say that I'm in recovery because I'm free now from all that stuff. I feel like it's almost my responsibility to do the same thing for women that are in the struggle still. And the heart that I have for them is that there is victory and there is freedom, and they have the power inside themselves, and they have the power that the Holy Spirit gives them to find freedom in those things. And I wish that that was something that I had known while I was in it. And so that really is my goal in helping, is to really just help them find that within themselves. It really took me about 3 or 4 years before I even came back to the Lord. And so I grew up in a Christian home, and I had been resisting it so much. And then when I did come back, I found a new purpose that I hadn't had before. And I really knew that there was a calling on my life, that I had been saved and that I needed to share it with other people. So around 6 years ago, I started reaching out to different organizations to see about mentoring and how I would get connected there. And I ended up getting connected. My first mentorship ever was about 5 years ago, and that went really well. And the girl that I was mentoring got clean and got her children back, and it was really great. Not all mentorships have ended that way, but that was really what got me into it. The mentorship program at Gabriel's House is a great way for the residents to spend time with women who have either seen the other side of their own recovery and are recovered, or women who just have a heart for them. And really, they're very receptive to it and they want it. And that's the thing that I think is so cool about the mentorship program, is that when you can walk through things with them and see the outcome, it's really a reward, honestly, for the mentor. It's a big blessing for the mentee, but sometimes I feel like it's a bigger blessing for the mentor, because the Lord gets to use you in new ways that you probably wouldn't have been able to have been used unless you were in that situation. So. One of the girls here I've really been able to connect with has been in the groups that I was holding about different topics, and one of the topics that we discussed was boundaries. And so boundaries in relationships is something that people in recovery really need to learn before they're launched back out into regular life. And so we had this big conversation about how to respond to conflict. And we did some role playing and, okay, well, what if she says this? How are you gonna respond? And we really just sat down and worked it out together, and she ended up having the conversation with the other person, and they're still friends, they have a beautiful friendship, and she came back to me and told me, you know what, I actually think that conflict made us closer. That was really cool because I know from her personal history, conflict makes her take off and run, and it severs the relationship for her. So that was a huge moment that I saw in her because that was something new that she never done before, and it was a safe place for her to do it, and that was a really beautiful response from her. So if you're hesitant about volunteering, I would say don't be. This is probably one of the most fun volunteer things that I've ever done. And everybody has something to offer, and we all have gifts, and we all have things that we're really good at, and there's so many different opportunities to help in the house that no matter what it is that you're good at, you'll be matched up with a position where you can thrive, or with one of the ladies with that. It would be a really good match for you. And so I would say don't worry about it, don't be hesitant, don't be scared. God can use you in big ways at Gabriel's house.